Good evening. Nationwide protests are expected across the country and here in Connecticut tomorrow as part of No King's Day, a time they say to send a message to oppose the president's policies.
News 8's Bob Wilson has more on how dozens of law enforcement agencies are preparing for crowds.
Here at the state capitol, the barricades are out. They're not up. They're just kind of gathered here. And this scene playing out all across Connecticut. Dozens of rallies, celebrations, Juneteenth, protests planned for around the state. Governor to the mayor, Hartford asking people to please keep it safe. The police setting up barricades on the Capitol grounds as the Hartford Symphony Orchestra plays in the background. The musicians rehearsing for tomorrow's concert in Bushnell Park and the celebrations around Juneteenth. Meanwhile, just steps up the hill, Capitol Police anticipating as many as 6,000 protesters rallying against the president's policies. Starting at 7 a.m. on Saturday, no vehicles will be allowed on the Capitol grounds. State police and Capitol Police will have a lot of extra security on hand as the governor and attorney general speaking out earlier this week about it.
You should continue to exercise your rights to speak and protest lawfully and peacefully.
Right now, I think our state police, municipal police working together will keep us safe as they always have.
Hartford and New Haven will also be ready, but not in the way.
We have our officers on standby, and we let the protesters do their thing. As long as their thing isn't doing damage or being violent or burning anything.
This week, there have been protests from Meriden to New Haven, loud, emotional, but peaceful so far. Protesters upset at President Trump for ramping up ICE raids and calling in the National Guard and Marines to California.
We would bring more in if we needed it because we have to make sure there's going to be law and order.
As the protest plays out in the streets, the government also asking people on work visas to go back to their country. This woman has had several cousins working in America who are now back in India.
There's a lot of anxiety, what happens to my job kind of a thing. And the others are asked to go back. And some people are not wanting to stay here because of the kind of treatment, right? It was never like this.
Law enforcement anticipate more than 24 protests across the state on Saturday. In Hartford, Bob Wilson, News 8.